Welcome to the channel. Today we're doing protest music.
Protest song.
I just wanted to challenge. Protest music has always struck me as like the most unappetizing kind because I don't really like didacticism and people sort of telling you how it is. But I think I do like some of it anyway.
I would rather not have my politics in my music, but in some cases it's elusive. I picked one that looks like a protest album, but isn't very much a protest album. And the other example is an extreme protest album, but in a foreign language, so you'd be hard to know it.
So I actually don't have a problem with politics in my music, and I come out of hardcore punk. So there's a lot of politics in the music. I chose one punk record and one record from many decades, a different kind of protest music, but essentially singing about the same stuff. Okay, so my first record is from Eugene McDaniels. Headless Heroes of the Apocalypse from 1971. As somebody in the liner notes said, this was a soul singer who apparently wasn't very interested in remaining in the business. Yeah, like angry as hell, leftist soul slash psych slash jazz slash funk. He was a songwriter of some renown. He wrote that song Compared to What, made famous a couple of years earlier. And he wrote like a bunch of songs that Roberta Flack covered. But it's his work as a solo artist that particularly interests me. He had a pretty amazing band behind him. He had the rhythm section of Weather Report, circa 1970, 71. Alphonse Mazone and what's his name, Miroslav Vitus. It's all arranged by the pianist Harry Whitaker, so this is good stuff. These are crack musicians, and the songs just sort of jump out of the groove. McDaniel's lyrics are acid. There's a lot of black humor in here. He writes about racism, about the Vietnam War. He mocks Mick Jagger for trying to appear black. And the songs are catchy as hell. Like, this is a good record that gets pretty out there. He was, for his troubles, he was dropped by his record label. But his legacy was kind of kept alive because the music is so good. If you're familiar with Golden Age hip hop, you will recognize decent bits of some of these songs because they were sampled by like Tribe Called Quest and the Beasties and Pete Rock. So all in all, this is a very cool record if you don't mind a lot of politics. And my second is kind of an of the moment pick. It's a compilation, punk and hardcore compilation called No Genocide. Came out last year. It's about Gaza. I love punk compilations. I'm kind of a connoisseur of them. And this feels very much like a throwback to the great compilations of the 80s and early 90s. I think it's organized out of Philadelphia. There's a number of Philadelphia bands on here. Like the best compilations of the past, there's a wide variety of bands. There's, there's US hardcore kind of stuff, some stuff that sounds a little bit like classic Southern California stuff. There's anarcho-punk, there's like moody punk, there's a number of songs that would qualify as post-punk that I wouldn't generally be very interested in hearing, except that they work so well within the flow of songs on this record. And there's stuff that's a little dearer to my heart genre-wise. There's like ripping D-beat from a few bands here. In particular, Raleigh, North Carolina's Scarecrow, who cover a COC song, also from Raleigh. The best thing about a comp is you discover a band or two that you didn't know. And there's a couple of great bands that I'd never heard before on here. And again, everything fits well together. This record is still available. You can search it out online. And of course, it's a very worthy cause.
All right. I have Matching Mole which would appear to be politically charged with its album art. So this is called the Little Red Record. It's their second album. It's a Robert Wyatt project after he left Soft Machine. So you see the cover is Chinese Communist propaganda art or assimilation of. Mao's Little Red Book is inferred. The reaction to this, first of all, the band hated this cover. It was foisted upon them by their record company, and it was received as an insensitive satire. Although Wyatt was a lefty, these are simplistic socialist rhetoric in the songs about established power, Western influence, but only in a general way. If you're interested in the politics of Robert Wyatt and his music, you should get Old Rotten Hat, that's his nickname, because that's when he became a member of the Communist Party. And then it's also infused with politics. This, musically, is an example of early prog and is a masterpiece of ponderous, breezy, and complex prog rock produced by Robert Fripp. This is also an example of musicians that picked rock to sort of open the door so they could do freer music inspired by classical and jazz. Well, the members come from Soft Machine and would go on to be in Quiet Sun and Hatfield in the north, those Canterbury sound recording artists. Also, Eno does the intro to the first song. It's very elongated, and you can hear Eno's influence throughout in a very subtle way. Looks like a political album. I also have Zelda, Zelda Backhand, to be precise. The album's called, I'll give it a try here, Verrulduk E Hakam Onut Mabizi, which means we were shot, struck down. Oh, my people, don't forget us. And it's a Turkish psych rock masterpiece from 1976. It's her first record. It's sort of a combination of Turkish folk music. You can see the oud there she plays, and Anatolian rock, or in other words, psych rock with a Middle Eastern flavor. Her voice is clarion and arresting, and there are political messages throughout against protesting military leaders, poverty, political repression, human rights. And she was in prison 3 times for the songs on this album, which became hits on the radio and forced the protest into the streets. So she was very sought after. Musically, this is guitar, drums, synth, and oud, and it's the tuneful Middle Eastern melodies provided by the musicians from Moligar, a Turkish experimental psych group, where they created perfect psych rock backings, or in some cases, it's just Zelda singing with some sparse backing. She's got many albums in her discog. I'm interested in the first 3, and this particular one is released by Faraway Sounds label.
So I've got this as my first selection. Linton Kwesi Johnson, Horses of Victory. And this is his second album. Let's see, he was born in Jamaica, came to England, still alive, has enjoyed actually a great deal of acclaim and recognition and success in his lifetime. Started out being very angry and not mincing words with those in power. So this is a great album of angry reggae, which one doesn't get to hear a lot of. So it's got great lyrics like "We're gonna smash their brains in because they ain't got nothing in them." The sentiment is clear. He takes on the subject of fascism and anti-immigrant sentiment in his adoptive country. Also, police brutality is on the table. Yeah, very. If you look at the album cover, it's very stark, and it looks sort of like almost a piece of agitprop, A+ recording, to my mind. And then the second one I have is a sort of absurdist exercise in protest. This is all about, oh, sorry, I've got the wrong side. This is all about the glories of George W. Bush's campaign against Iraq earlier in the millennium, and how it's going to yield a bunch of fabulous golf courses and, retail opportunities for America. So this is Bobby Conn, Chicago's weird provocateur, who I know I've mentioned before. And again, I'll see if he defies my efforts to describe him this time too. He's got this real glam rock thing. So if you imagine a band like The Sweet doing songs about plastic surgery and the Mar-a-Lago face. I realize that's an anachronism. The Mar-a-Lago face did not exist at that point, but there's a great song about Botox and the people who use it. What Bobby Conn is really good at is drawing the connecting lines between this sort of personal sphere of cosmetic surgery and international politics, mainly in this case by way of real estate development. You've got the band getting out of a private copter to go golfing, presumably with the Trump sons or something like that. So again, it's really absurdist stuff, but musically it's incredibly tight. So if it's again sounding like early 70s glam rock, sort of with if Bowie had more of a political sneer to him. So that would be my second protest album choice of the day. And that's it.
Have expected yodeling?
I would have welcomed yodeling.
Well, you always welcome yodeling.
I do.
Yeah.
You need to check out some of those Swiss protest albums, the furious.
Okay, hamburger lady.
All right.
Synthetic creature smeared with politics. Or seared.
Sneer. Something with a sneer. Poison injections have frozen the smile on your face.
Bobby Conn.
The love letter to the Mar-a-Lago face. Hoot-da-doo.